Hi everybody, I just wanted to do this quick tutorial for you. I've had a lot of people ask how to pick the colours for your drawings, especially for your underpaintings and things like that. So I usually use Photoshop, but that is quite an expensive program. So I've actually found this free one that I've used a couple of times, and it's called Pixlr. So that's Pixlr. So if you just type in pixlr.com, and you'll see that that'll bring that up for you, and you can actually sign up to this one for free. So once you actually come into the Pixlr site, I'll just come back to this first page. Once you've signed on free, you've then got these options here. Now, I haven't used any of these because, like I said, I have Photoshop, but this Pixlr editor is the one that you want. So if you just click on that, it'll then just take you in to this page here. Now this is where you can open up an image. So if you've got some photographs and that on your computer, you would just click onto here, and then that'll take you to your browser and you can choose your image there. Now I've actually loaded one on here. I've picked this rainbow lorikeet because I thought that the colours in this one were quite nice. Now with the free site, unfortunately, you are going to get ads, but for the sake of a few ads at the side of the page, it's better than forking out money that you don't need to. So let me see if I can remember how to use all this. Now, when you open up your image, you'll get your background layer. You'll see that here at the side here under layers. So if you right click on that, you've then got these boxes here. Now just make sure that you've got unlocked and visible highlighted and showing. Now what I like to do is I just like to rename it. So we could just call that, I don't know, bird for this instance. So I'll just rename that to bird. And then you've got your background image there. So we'll just close that little window. Now, the first thing I like to do is go in and blur the image. The reason I do that is that if you're picking the colors when it's the bright image like this, it'll pick up the highlighted colors, which is the ones you're going to be adding in at the end of your drawing. So I just like to blur it. So if you go up to filter and then come down to details, and then across to Gaussian blur, you can then adjust it with this little slider. So I think usually around about 15 to 20, you'll see how it just blurs the image, and you can go really blurry, which is probably too much. But I think usually just about the 15 to 20 mark. So 16, we'll go with that one, and just apply. So that's just blurred that image for you. Now the next thing we want to do is you can pull out the colors from here, but what I like to do is I like to have a bit of a border just around the image. And I try and get that border color the same as my paper color. So I just think it helps you choose those colors a little bit better. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go up to image, and we want to do canvas size. So click on that. Now you just want to make sure that this relative change button is on. And then I usually pick about 300, not 3000, that's a bit much. 300 is usually a good one to pick. And if you hit apply, it'll then put this border around here. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to add a layer. So if you come down here, you'll see this little cross. If you click on that, and then we want to pick an empty layer. So you've now got up here your original bird image that you've blurred, and you've now got your layer. So make sure that you're actually on that layer. It'll be the one that's highlighted. And then what we want to do is we want to come over to this side, and we want to pick this little fill bucket. So we want to click on that, and then down here you'll see you've got these colors. So the top little circle there, you can pick what color paper you're going to be using. So if we were going to use the light grey, for example, you can just move that around and try to get it as close as possible to the light grey pastel matte, for example. And then if we hit OK, we then want to do is we then want to fill it. So we want to make sure again that we're on that layer, and with that fill tool we just want to click on that layer, and you'll see that that has turned that the blue colour of our paper. Then what we need to do is just make sure that that actual bird layer is on top of that layer. So just click on your bird layer and just drag it up so that it sits on the top. And then you've got that lovely border all the way around. Now again, making sure that you're on that bird layer, you then want to come over here and you want to pick up on the brush tool. So the little one that looks like a brush. So we click on that one, and then if you come over here, you want to hold down your control key on your keyboard. So hold that down, keep it there. Then as you move around the bird, if you click with your left mouse, it'll pick up those colours, and you'll see that the colour that it's picked on is that one at the top there. So as you can see, as you move around, it changes that top colour and picks up that colour that it's seeing in the bird. So what we want to do is we want to click on the colour. You can come up here as well. I'll come off that click button. You can come up here and you can change the size of your brush and everything. So if you just want a thinner, thinner sort of line, you can just adjust it here. So you can do all of that just with this little section up the top here. So find something that works for you. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to, again, you want to hold that control key down. You want to pick your colour. So we'll pick the very tip of the beak here. So you click so that that colour is at the top. You can then let go of your control key. Click your left mouse, and then you can drag that colour out. And I just like to put like a little watch there, like so. Now again, you hold down the control key, you click with the left mouse button, remove your finger from the control key, and just pull out that colour. Now be mindful when you're doing this that you don't go moving your mouse about. So just again, we want to see what this top of the nose colour is. So control, left click, that puts the colour at the top, and then we can drag that out over the top of that blue and put a little mark. Again, click, left click, or sorry, control, left click, and then we can pull that colour out. Now you can be as detailed as you want to be in your colour picking. So again, control, left click, release the control button, pull the colour out, pop it onto the side of the paper. We'll go down here and just do one of the dark greens. Control, left click, release the control, pull it out, pop it down. And it's as simple as that. Now then, what you can do is you can either just leave it on this screen, if that's how you want to choose your colours. You can just then grab your pencils and hold them up to the screen and try and get a colour that's as similar to that as you want it to be. Or you can come up here and you can just file and then save that directly onto your computer. So yeah, it's as simple as that. You've just got to just remember that process of that holding down the control button, left click, and that colour will appear at the top. So it's chosen that colour. You then want to release your control, and then you can drag that colour out and down. And like I said, I find it helpful to have that border because then you can see the colours a lot better. If you were pulling those colours out just into the background of your image, then it's not necessarily the colours that you want to see on that colour pastel mat, for example. But I hope that that's been helpful. It's great. It's a great free tool, and it just gives you that little extra help in just choosing some of the colours that you can use in your drawings. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed that one, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.